Hello, and welcome to Abel Chimes. This week, we'll be meeting Stephen DePretis, who's just finishing up a meeting with Garone Starwedge. It's late at night, in the Crypt Digger camp, just a few weeks before our adventurers are facing off against some horrific circumstances in a cave not far from here. Garone has just finished explaining to Stephen once and for all the predicament that she finds herself in. So, that's where I'm at. You can understand why I lead the way that I do.
Oh, completely, Garone, completely. I completely understand why you have to do these things, why you have to make these decisions. I couldn't imagine being in your position. Well, I could, which is why I sympathize with you. But, nevertheless, I also can't imagine the strains it places on your state of mind. But nevertheless, I can get a grasp of it. Have I made myself clear, Garone?
You have. Yes, I take no pleasure in sharing that story. So, wow, Garone's voice is deep tonight.
Been on a bit of the old whiskey, Garone?
I'll be off to bed now, DePretis. So,
suits me.
Off on your rounds.
Think I'll take a walk in the woods, Garone. Clear my head.
Very well. And she dismisses you with a firm nod of her head as she turns to leave. Stephen DePretis leaves the tent and makes for the back of the already pitched tents in the area. He makes to inspect some of them, making sure they're still securely fastened, and then he indeed goes into the woods, holding a lantern aloft. A few hundred paces in, he sees the sign on the tree. A simple wedged shape. And he turns around looking for his contact. Make an observation check.
2 and a 6, so not quite enough.
Not quite enough. Stephen DePretis looks left and right in the woods, but he doesn't spot the contact until he's tripped up over the man's boot, and this man laughs, a deep laugh.
Stephen DePretis, I find you at last,
he says.
Oh gosh, I didn't see you there.
It's alright, you know why I'm here.
I do.
The boss says.
And he makes the familiar hand sign of the triple foul.
Keep making money any way that you can. We need to keep raising funds for when the tide turns.
Of course. You know that I've been extending my tendrils into the different business ventures that this crypt digging company comes across. You know how my entrepreneurial ventures are beginning to bear fruit.
We trust in you, Stephen. We'll see that you're handsomely rewarded for your efforts when the time comes. Farewell!
And he strides off into the wood, blending in his perhaps out-of-place black suit. Stephen DePretis returns to the camp, finishes his rounds, and makes sure that everything is secure. The final check that he performs is to test the tripwire. He gives the taut wire a little flick, and only he is able to hear the tinkle of a bell. Last time, a few of our party members squeezed through a narrow crevasse in order to return a pair of shepherds to the outside world. So it was Anchor and Caradon who helped Mabel and Harold back out to safety. And just as they were about to leave the cave, they came face to face with their colleague, Stephen DePretis. So, meanwhile, in the man-made section of this dark cave system,
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
we find Victor Von Thorn and Vitalia Snyder left alone together in the dark. And it's at this point that I should retcon something which occurred to me after last week's session, which is the fact that you disposed of your torch in fighting the wolf fetuses last time. And this section of the cave is therefore pretty dark. So I imagine one of you would have lit another torch since it was safe to do so. So I'm assuming that Victor Von Thorn is holding a torch,
Heroically.
illuminating this. Well, what's the atmosphere in between you two as you're waiting?
Imagine it's kind of
I
awkward.
think it's
because,
Hot and steamy.
inevitably pretty
it's quite.
frosty given Vitellius's general demeanor.
Yeah, and he is like hundreds. There's quite an age gap between us, so that can't be easy.
We can do like an enemies to lovers thing. It'll be great.
Yeah, okay. Right, I'm gonna try and start some conversation with Snyder.
All right.
So Snyder, what was this cult / organization that you're a part of? Tell me more about it. Sounds pretty cool.
You wish to learn more about the cult of Gragor?
Oh, so you do call it a cult yourself? Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yes, we are a cult. We're cultivating the love of the great spider god, Gragor.
Oh, is that where the word cult comes from?
Yeah, I mean, you tell me,
Cultivate. I what do I know? Yeah. Please tell me more about your spider man.
Of course. Well, he's not really a man, he's greater than all men. Gragor, he is trapped beneath the earth, put there by the ancients, feared his power. But my cult, we seek to raise Gragor. Through a ceremony, we'll raise him, bring him to the earth, and he will spin a web that will cover the whole wide world. This worldwide web will bring harmony, it will bring peace. We will all be.
I don't know. I feel
All of those who are worthy of Gragor's love will find comfort and peace and stillness in the great worldwide web. But those whom
I don't
Gragor
know. It sounds like
despises,
hijacked by multinationals and large corporations.
multi what? Multinationals? What is a nation? What is national?
So from what I understand from my limited education, a nation is like a group of people led by someone.
So are we the nation of Gragor? That's quite a cool name.
I mean,
We could relaunch. Yeah.
yeah, go for it.
What's up, Gregor?
Yeah.
Nation?
So these days we try not to admit that we're a cult because that's got like a bad reputation. So yeah,
Oh.
Nation of Gregors might be a good, revamp.
Ask him if he's heard of Tim Berners-Lee.
Have you, Sir Tim Berners-Lee? Yeah, there's this knight that I worked alongside called Sir Tim Berners-Lee. He was he mentioned Gregor. He had some great ideas.
Meanwhile,
No, this whole episode has to be about this conversation.
in some ways it will be. We'll explore that shortly. But on the other side of the crack, I'm going to look forward to mentioning the other side of the crack.
That's not a good phrase.
He said crack.
I mean, we can call this episode The Other Side of the Crack.
It sounds vaguely autobiographical,
Which of the characters is it a biography of?
I've got some ideas and I don't want to share them.
So Anka and Caradon don't know Stephen Depretis particularly well, but obviously his face is familiar. You travelled to this cave with him, and when you last saw him, you were being led by the fearsome and stalwart Erwan Tank, who has since vanished
Rest
into
in
the
peace.
depths of the crypt.
R.I.P.
Oh,
So,
not forgotten.
how do you convey this to Stephen when you encounter him?
I thought
I
we
think we
did.
already discussed that, didn't we? I think Stephen took a
Yeah,
grip
we-
check. He was very.
Oh
remember.
yeah, shit.
He failed the grip check.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Okay, so let's pick up that scene then.
A goddamn gold mine, you say?
That's right. Most cryptics don't understand this, but the true source of wealth in the world is not the treasure that one can occasionally dig up from beneath it. The true source of wealth is are the materials, the raw materials that go into the processes of production that keep ordinary life going.
What production?
So you're saying as long as we own the means of production, we'll make a lot of money.
Exactly. In fact, we may become almost a sort of ruling class, you see, in this stage of society.
That's a bit ambitious, don't you?
I like the
think?
sound of that.
Yes, sounds like it's going to require a lot of labor.
Oh, it will require labor, but all the great families, remember, they all started off as adventurers, bandits, conquerors of some sort or another. And look at them now. They sit on their thrones in their great towers. Soon, the cycle will begin again.
What towers?
What towers? Just general towers, you know. Rich people living in towers. The wizard. Oh,
Ivory towers.
I didn't say anything about the Wizard of the White Tower, but you know, towers like that.
White towers.
Okay.
So you're saying it's just a bunch of people in white towers who own the means of
I
production.
mean, I like the idea of ivory myself, but yes, they you see they own the means by which the goods that circulate throughout this world and fulfill daily needs of the poor and the rich alike. You know, if you own the means of producing them, then you can make a hell of a lot of money.
Mhm.
Most cryptics don't realize this.
And money can be exchanged for goods and services.
I got that reference.
I understand now. I'm on the same page as you.
How does Anka feel about this this particular worldview?
Not a super fan. That's why I said ambitious. But ambitious, don't you think?
Oh, that was supposed to be sarcastic. Okay, I didn't get that. It was skeptical of the ambition.
Do we need like a jingle for sarcasm? Just so, but when one of us says something sarcastic,
Oh, another bell. We can get another
Yeah.
bell, just like sarcasm bell.
different tones.
Ring the sarcasm bell.
One bell is enough. Mabel looks frustrated at this conversation ongoing while she's holding a severely injured man on her
Guys,
shoulders.
could we stop talking about the possible opportunities here and get me to the fucking medical attention? Get me some fucking medical attention.
How? Where?
I mean, it's just woods outside, so
I have alcohol in my bag if you want. I can give you that. You can
Could
use
use a
it as
stiff
like
drink.
morphine. Okay then.
Okay.
Then I didn't think about what type of alcohol I have in my bag, but yeah, sure.
I think whatever type of alcohol you have, Mabel will be happy to take it off you and have a swig.
All right, done.
Catch.
Oh, there was even a drinking noise. Nice one. Normally, you're not supposed to include those because it grosses people out, but like now it's Foley work.
I'm just recording
so-
so, you know, always in the background.
Yeah, it's good that you do it in time because then you don't even have to move it around. Saves the editing work later.
Exactly. But this whole conversation is making more editing work for me, so
Sorry, Jamie. Okay, so Mabel and Harold are escorted out of the cave. Are you just going to leave them there? What is your plan? And what happens next?
I assume Stephen returned with some orders.
So Stephen has just spent the past how long you've been in the cave, several hours at this point, communicating the location back to the base camp. Ben, I don't know if you want that to have been that Stephen trekked back, marking the path out as he went, or communicated by some other means. I'll leave that up to you.
Well, I think he would. Yeah, I think he would certainly. I think he would have marked his path along the way back. But he's conveyed the information to the leaders of the camp, to Arthur Estricar et al., by means of a hand-drawn map.
Okay, so he delivered that himself?
Yes, and has now returned. There are no specific orders beyond continuing with their mission of extirpating the wolf plague.
Well, I imagine the existence of this gold mine that we're sitting on would change the orders, given that the wolves are inextricably linked with this production.
Well, yes, but this is an opportunity that Stephen has sort of identified upon being informed about the reverse honey, rather than something that was known beforehand, I think.
Okay, so
yes.
Job done. Let's go back and tell everyone, and we can make lots of money.
I would think so. He who controls the reverse honey gets the money.
Tell them about the reverse honey, mummy.
The wolves make the honey. We make money.
One of those will make the cut. Meanwhile, in the cave, unable to hear much of this conversation, Victor Von Thorn is getting deeper into conversation about the cult of Gragor.
So this Tim Berners-Lee, who is he? Is he a great wizard?
No, he's just a knight. It was a bit weird. So tell me, how do you accept new members to the nation of Gragor?
Wow, that was so quick. He's already converted you?
I mean, I'm very easily led.
You wish to become an arachnolite?
Well, to be honest, like, if crypt digging doesn't work out, it's good to have the fallback option. I'm just interested, really.
Becoming a member of the nation of Gragor will require your full, unstinting devotion to his cause.
To be honest,
commitment.
Yeah, it's quite a lot of commitment. I'm just looking to meet new people, really.
Just a bit of a stinted devotion.
It's a new area for me.
I suppose to start out, you could begin by reading Gragor's 8-point plan. You see, for it's if you're feeling a bit, you need your life has lost direction, you're in a rut. Gragor's got an 8-point plan for revitalizing yourself.
Oh, that sounds right up my street, actually. No.
I don't have one on me, but if you get me out of this cave, I will introduce you. It'll be the secrets for revitalizing your life.
To who?
And maybe then you'll be ready to be an arachnolite.
Okay.
Everyone roll an observation check.
Everyone in...
everyone.
Absolutely everyone.
So you're going to have to roll a bunch, Ben.
Everyone.
Anchor rolled a
5.
Victor rolled a 12. Vitellius got a 9, was it, Ben?
That's right.
Caradon got a 5.
6.
A 6. Sorry.
Get it right.
Sorry. Don't insult me.
You sure told me. And one for Mabel and Stephen, please, Ben.
Mabel got a 3, and Stephen got a 6.
Fantastic. So that means it is only Victor and Vitellius who passed the roll.
That's very unlike me.
And, well, like, geographically speaking, it's quite convenient. But you hear from deep in the cave, a guttural roar that echoes even into the partly isolated chamber that you find yourselves in.
And I didn't hear this?
It vibrates through the rocks. Well, you're in conversation, and there's some noise from outside that might be interfering with it. But no, it's a deep roar, loud enough to transfer through the rocks of the cave, but clearly not as far as the entrance. And a few moments later, you hear a harmonized whining song. Just a few notes sung together, but because there are many pitches, after your attention's been drawn, you just managed to make it out.
Dear God. Is it aliens? Aliens here? Damn it, Snyder, did you hear that?
I did. That sounded like a song from the depths of the earth.
I mean, that's exactly what I'd say. What? Have you heard that before? From like before?
It must be Gragor calling out to his followers.
Oh shit.
You heard it too.
I did.
It means you must be destined to be a follower of Gragor.
Ooh.
This is a great day.
Yeah, okay. Brilliant, I think.
I can't believe I'm the wrong side of the crack to be destined.
Great recruiter. Great job.
Okay, so
What?
we never finished establishing what the others are doing with Harold and Mabel.
Well, we just all leave now. We drop them off, and then we go back to the camp and say, actually, we're not going to kill the wolves because of all this money that we're going to make.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Come back with some more
just
experienced crypt diggers, and
there's just a slight snag of the fact that Victor couldn't fit through the crack with his armor.
I'm just too broad.
He's just too big of a boy.
he can take it off.
All right. So are you going to stick around for Victor to take his armor off and squeeze through the crack?
Well, yeah, we'll go back and tell Victor the plan because he has to come. I don't know what we're going to do with Vitellius. He can just do whatever. Surf the web, I guess.
I don't need a wolf tamer for this job.
Yeah, wolf tamers, they're really extremely common in day-to-day life, just like in the real world.
But I could have been one if you let Slimy live.
I mean, the fact that we domesticated dogs, I feel like means that
Jamie.
there's a wolf tamer inside of all of us.
Slimy was destined to die by my boot.
What was Caradon's catchphrase again?
I just kicked the shit out of him.
That's it. Yeah.
He was destined to get the shit kicked out of him.
Okay, so your plan goes into action. Stephen, I guess, escorts Mabel and Harold outside. Is probably experienced with dealing with wounds, so would be tending to their first aid treatment. While Anka and Caradon go back to explain the plan to the other two. That seem all right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
So before anything else happens, I just want to remind you all that several of you are running low on grip. Specifically, Anka is down to 2.
Oh boy.
Caradon is down to 2 also. Victor is at
1.
No, Victor's still got 3. He's still going strong basically because he's just brushed off so many close encounters with unsightly things.
Yeah, but 2 is plenty. That's half what I started with.
It is. I just wanted to give you this opportunity if any of you wanted to remedy that situation. bearing in mind that if you fall to 0 grip, then you'll have a similar fate to Erewhon.
Yeah, but I can just do something about it after I fall to 1, right?
Maybe.
You could conceivably be in a situation in which you're faced by multiple rapid things that simply test your sanity to the limit.
Yeah. Or one extremely terrible thing, which results in a loss of more than 1 grip. I'm just putting it there. Just
Something
if
bad
you
is
don't-
going to happen.
if you don't want to do
Oh,
anything
no.
with it,
Jamie, you're in
It's
great
fine.
danger.
So, Caradon and Anka convey the plan to Victor, and Vitellius, looks on, presumably is involved in this conversation, and in return, Victor mentions the noise that they just heard from deeper in the cave.
What did you guys hear the that singing from the deeps?
No,
What?
just the normal singing inside my head.
Oh, no, this was unearthly.
Of course they would not have heard it. Listen to them talk of gold and earthly riches. How can these be chosen by Gragor?
I didn't say gold. I said reverse honey. It's very different.
Liquid gold.
Well, everyone knows that he who has the reverse honey has the money.
I believe I've heard that also. Yes.
Hey, I've heard it said.
This is the power of having multiple characters under your control.
Guys, I am rather concerned that I somehow inadvertently become a follower of Gragor, and I'm now hearing him sing to me. Yeah, it's quite unsettling, really.
It's probably fine.
Maybe it's the walls.
Maybe it is the wolves.
Maybe it's the silence.
Maybe
That would be
maybe
reassuring.
someone is running with the wolves tonight.
Hey, hey. Sorry, I
Okay,
wouldn't know that
let's-
song. I wouldn't know that.
Right.
Let's leave.
Yeah, I'm. That's enough references for now. I
Yeah,
think.
we're quickly
It's not
overloading
all
the
about the pop
podcast.
culture, guys.
Okay, yes. Yeah, I feel like I would like to leave just in case there is a massive spider after me.
All right.
Snyder, you going?
You leave me with no choice. I cannot remain alone here.
I knew we were becoming friends. Come on then.
But you must on no account mention that I am a follower of Gragor when we are among the wider camp.
Sidebar. Is Snyder wearing like his big spider cape? I don't know.
He's wearing a cape. Does it have spiders on it? I forget.
I feel like we found some clothing which did have.
I think it was decorated with a spiderweb kind of pattern. Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe they won't notice. Okay, I won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a man of my word.
Yeah, I mean it's extravagant, but not like explicitly Gragor themed.
Okay, I'm a man of my word. I shall keep your secret, Snyder.
Trust only the spiders. They speak the truth.
Yeah,
Yeah, just like in real life.
that's why they're silent. It's a good policy.
No, they're not. They're not silent. They speak. You know that.
Oh, I did not. Is that what they used to do like hundreds of years ago when you were like roaming the world? Because
They speak only to the followers of Gragor.
of course.
I mean, this is fascinating, guys, but
Yeah. Okay. So
we could just leave.
following you, I'll just shimmy off my armor.
Okay. So I've made an ominous reference to the further dangers that lurk in this crypt, but our crypt diggers have made the wise decision to retreat for now and return with greater resources and backup.
Well, I was just gonna send someone else.
That's fine too. Trekking back to the camp, our adventurers come across a confrontation, if you will. Just outside the entrance of the camp, Sir Arthur Estracar is fending off the aggressive advances of a middle-aged man who seems to be intoxicated and is demanding some answers. Now, sir, I'll have you step away, please. This is intolerable behavior, and the crypt diggers are a well-respected authority in the land that I demand you show some deference to.
Oh, yeah. There's no way that you lot haven't seen him. I know what you're like. It's probably you that took him, wasn't it? It was probably you. You, sir. You, that's why you're not letting me in. It's because you did it.
Sir, my esteemed colleagues, if you could, if you could intercept this this unseemly gentleman,
Yeah.
remove him from my person, if you please.
Well, Victor's night training kicks in because he's used to dealing with ruffians. He's like, "Please stand aside, sir." And he grabs his shoulder with his arm and just sort of doesn't throw him, sort of moves him aside with force.
All right.
Just lightly tosses him.
Yeah, I like to toss him.
So I haven't stressed heavily how aggressive this man is being, but he's really up in Sir Arthur's face. So I'd like you to roll a brawn check, please.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, roll a 7 plus 2 for brawn.
7 plus 2 is a 9. Success. So you handily move him to the side, and in his intoxicated state, he trips and falls onto the ground and shakes his fist at you, says,
How dare you, sir? Knocking me over like some bum.
Well, your behaviour has yeah, it's pretty shit.
Yeah, you tell him.
I was trying to think of something backhanded, but I'm just I can.
I'll have you know that someone in this camp took my friend Bob.
Bob, what is can you give us a description of this Bob?
He's got a red face.
Yeah.
Drinks a bit more than me, you know.
Yeah.
Got dark, luscious locks. More pride in his hair than I ever had. And he's got some brand new trousers that I know damn well you crypt diggers like to steal nice clothes and whatnot wherever you go.
That is a slanderous accusation.
Yeah, beautiful trousers.
The good guild of crypt diggers would never stoop to such depths. We go to literal depths.
Well, it's a sure thing that will give away anyone that stole his trousers. Because he kept in those trousers a gift that I gave him myself. Shiniest pebble you ever damn saw.
Interesting.
Right. So I'm looking for a pebble. I'm looking for a shiny pebble in someone's trousers.
I remember. I remember some trousers that may or may not have had a pebble in.
Really? Where was that?
In the crypt. They were on a skeleton.
Oh.
So, it was you that
I didn't say any of that out
took his
loud.
trousers.
okay. Fair enough.
I'm just briefing my companions.
So it wasn't actually a skeleton. It was on a
body.
a pair of legs, with no torso attached.
Oh, I'd forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
I believe I licked it.
You did.
I had a grip check.
Yeah.
You did.
I lost the grip because of.
Not just because
You
I
licked
just
it.
edited that episode.
Did you?
I would have remembered it anyway.
Did you lose the grip because Jamie licked a
It's a
pebble?
very delicious pebble.
Dear God.
Horrific sight.
What possessed him?
Bob continues his story.
I thought Bob was the other guy.
You're right. Here's the catch. They're both called Bob.
Oh.
That's why they get on so well. But it's fine. Only one of them's still alive. So
Yeah, it makes it easier.
We
won't
don't
have any
even.
trouble
We don't need
remembering.
like Bob 1 and Bob 2. It's like alive Bob and
Dead Bob. He doesn't even know that he's dead yet. But he's about to.
What, dead Bob.
No, alive Bob. Yeah. Well, he definitely doesn't know he's dead.
You
So
said
what-
you found a dead body, but you
So-
actually found a dead Bobby.
Yeah. So what were you saying, alive Bob?
How do you know my name?
I just assumed.
I guess.
Well, I saw Bob just 2 days ago. We drink together at the local pub. Bob and Bob drinking together. We're the best of mates. I gave him that pebble, you know. Anyway, he went off saying that since there wasn't a usual ritual to Diana anymore, he was going to get an early night. That was the last I saw of him. But you know which direction he was headed? Right towards this dirty camp.
No, that
So
can't.
since he hasn't come to join me last night, I figured I'd come and take a look for myself.
That can't be true. I saw Bob the other day. He was walking the opposite way to this camp.
How'd you know Bob? He gets to his feet.
Well, you described him so vividly. I remember his luscious locks and like very new trousers, and he showed me his pebble actually.
I showed you. So you spoke with him?
Oh yeah.
What did he say? You might be the last person to have seen him.
Put him out of his misery.
He just said he was going on a little trip. I don't know where. He didn't tell me.
Little trip? You wouldn't go on a holiday without telling me. Well, still suspicious of you lot.
Okay.
Anyway.
Have a nice day.
He goes off, grumbling. And Sir Arthur Estrachar nods summarily at you, appreciating the fact that you managed to diffuse the situation. So after this altercation, you move into the camp. And since he's still relatively fresh, Stephen de Pretis goes and discusses the details that you've reported to him to Sir Arthur Estrachar and the leader of the camp, Gorin Starwedge, while you relax by the fire. Another member of the camp, let's give them a name, Durham Gorin, escorts Mabel and the still unconscious Harold back to the adjacent village. And you have a good hour or so to recover while there's discussions about what to do next. But your relaxation is interrupted when a decent-sized crowd of people is seen leaving the woods in the direction of your camp from the village. You know they're from the village because you recognize one of the leading members of this crowd as Bob, the intoxicated man that you only just met. But the person right at the front of this crowd is a tall, imposing older woman wearing a black cloak with a green lining, who is striding forward with long, graceful strides and makes a beeline leading the village people towards the largest tent.
That's quite some crowd.
Bob, recognizing Victor, says, "Yeah, I knew you were up to no good. I knew I should have gone and prayed to Kozel and Diana about this. That you tried to trick me, didn't you?" As the leader of this crowd approaches the tent, Sir Estrachar steps out and intercepts her. And when she calmly demands to see the leader of the camp, he opens the curtain and allows her entrance, and then promptly closes it so that none of the other clamoring members of the crowd can enter. And then he steps over to the group and clears his throat, as he's wont to do. And follows it up with, "Look sharp, lady and gentlemen. Seems you've got the privilege of setting up our exploitation of this valuable resource."
All fun. Logistics is my strong point.
Well, yes, if you need someone to do some heavy lifting, look no further.
I'm following my initiative here, but if my instincts are anything to go by, then any second now. Garone sweeps out of the tent, followed by this older woman in the black and green robe. And she addresses the people from the village, saying, Right. Seems we've got a lot of visitors today. Welcome. Welcome. I hear that there may be more problems in the village than have been reported to me, and also that you may have caught wind of the valuable resource, she says, making scare quotes, that my employees have discovered in the recovery of your fellow villagers. Now, it seems to me there's been a misunderstanding. You see, what's been uncovered is a health and environmental hazard that my company is taking it upon ourselves to remedy. You see, these are terrible, terrible wolves that have been infected or perhaps contaminated with this strange acidic substance which has completely run them wild, and we have every reason to believe that this could continue, that other wildlife could get contaminated and come back and harm your fair selves and the property that you hold so dear. So, my employees, and she looks over at Arthur, who clears his throat again, with the implication that you should all stand to attention.
I immediately get off my feet.
Yep. I reconsider giving a thumbs up as I was about to.
That's all right.
And Goran continues. My employees are taking care of the situation and having recovered from the ordeal of their first encounter with these wolves, will now proceed in a calm and orderly manner to inspect the premises and establish the best means for remedying this problem. And the people of the village are kind of have mixed feelings about this. There are some naysayers who don't believe a word of the story, and others who think that sounds quite reasonable. Most notably, Harold's father, who is just relieved to have his son back and knows the devastation that these creatures can inflict. But one person who isn't having any of it is this woman in the dark robe, who addresses the village people, who also are members of her parish, and proclaims that Kozel and Diana would not stand for the resources on their land to be exploited by outsiders.
Listen here. I don't trust a word that these outsiders are saying about this health infection, this health problem that they are going to remedy. You see, they tell lies. They tell lies to keep our resources from us, to keep the wolf honey that Kozel and Diana have granted to us, and that belongs on their land, on our land. They want to take it for themselves, so they tell lies and deceive us. But ye should not listen to them. We shall take that wolf honey. We shall sell it to the world for use in the mining industry and other industrial processes, and we shall be a wealthy village once again. Thanks be to Kozel and Diana.
Now, okay, I can see why you've gotten all riled up here with sorry, what was your
name? I didn't catch it when you swept in earlier.
My name is Cartaresca, and I am the priestess of Kozol and Diana.
As she announces herself, several of the villagers do a little half step where they drop down to one knee and then onto both knees and then stand up with the other leg.
And then they put their hands up in a Y, and
Yeah. God, I could have done that, couldn't I? But I won't.
Pure, true to form, true to the craft.
Yeah. You've got to create a rich but believable world in this kind of scenario.
that's believable.
That's going to happen later, isn't it? Oh well. Garon continues. But if it would help garner your trust, perhaps you can send one of your members as an envoy to see the state of this discovery for yourself. You see, any more than one, and we won't be able to guarantee their safety, but at least one can bear witness.
Yes, please take my word as an honourable knight that it is very deadly, and you villagers would be torn to shreds and then burnt with acid. So I think the crypt diggers.
To shreds, you say?
I say to shreds.
Oh,
I
what a
mean to
great
shreds.
Futurama reference.
So yes, don't push us away too hastily.
All right, I'll come along.
Bob.
Alive, Bob is one of our proudest, most upstanding citizens.
Oh,
He will
Jesus
accompany
Christ.
you. He also
You're
has
really upstanding
experience.
to me.
He's been horizontal most of the time.
He may drink a lot, you see, but he's been through a lot. He has long experience in the mining industry, and he knows the value that reverse honey can have in allowing you to dig mine shafts without the use of explosives and the many dangers that can have in terms of injury or even death. And he's seen a lot of that, you see. And so he is
No.
well placed to assess the value of this wolf honey, which I am sure that you outsiders, you crypt diggers, are trying to conceal from us.
Oh, Carteresca. You do me an honour with your words. Yeah, all right, I'll come along. Even though this voice is really hard to do. Yeah, Bob's coming.
Pleased to have you, Bob.
Welcome aboard. Right, we'll restock, resupply, and then get back down, I guess.
Carteresca doesn't seem completely satisfied, but since Bob volunteered so willingly and the village people seem conflicted about the whole situation, she decides to save face and sweeps out with the same grace that she swept in with.
I'm not surprised they're conflicted. Like, one of them is a construction worker, one of them's a caricature of a Native American. No, it's fine.
Zing.
Carry on.
Jamie, I didn't get that reference either.
That's literally the village people.
Okay.
That's the reference.
Google the village people, and then
You should
that's the first thing you'll see.
shouldn't get on the wrong side of these people because they do have a powerful navy.
You can't claim my references are too highbrow for you, and I reference the village people who we've already been talking about.
All right. So the villagers disperse, and 10 minutes later, you're regrouped with Bob waiting on the edge of the camp as Sir Arthur explains the situation. Most of the personnel are out on other missions, and since it seems that we need to secure this resource as swiftly as possible, or to stand a chance of these nosy villagers doing themselves a disservice by investigating for themselves. We need you to go back in, I'm afraid. I know that you don't have much experience, and it's my understanding that Erwan had an unfortunate accident of some kind. Stephen wasn't entirely
It
clear
was
on the
rather horrific.
details,
Oh, bacon, my bacon.
but yes, you'll have to be responsible. Now, be clear that we don't, strictly speaking, need you to dispose of the wolves, although for the future safety of the operation, it may be necessary to get rid of them sooner or later. Rather, we need you to establish as clearly as possible what the source of this substance is. Because if the source can be removed from its current location, then we may be able to exploit this without having to disturb this neighborhood any longer. You understand?
Understood, sir.
Of course, don't worry. We will find the means of production and we will seize it.
True capitalist.
It's got to be done.
All right.
The workers can't work for themselves.
Okay. Success. Our party's heading back to the caves, this time with Bob in tow in place of the shepherd duo. Alive Mabel and unconscious Harold have been replaced with alive Bob.
Yay.
Nobody tell him about dead Bob.
Why are we not telling him about his dead friend? Like, is there any...
Just didn't feel like it.
Yeah, fair.
Well, I
It's
imagine
quite-
Way
his
to get him to go away.
Could be quite awkward.
one of his reasons for coming and volunteering himself would be to possibly find dead Bob.
Absolutely.
But I told him, dead Bob, went on a trip. Who knows where that might be?
I doubt he believes that.
Yeah, and if no one else has seen him, then he's probably gonna suspect that these wolves that people have been complaining about have something to do with it. I mean, he may be a drunkard, but even a drunkard has some common sense, right? Especially one that has a lot of experience in the mining industry.
You know what they say, the drunk man is right twice a day.
Anyone can be an alcoholic. That's the message here.
But not anyone can be a miner.
A crypt digger.
Yeah, past
Everyone is a
certain
miner
age.
at one point.
Our party heads back through the woods with Bob in tow. It's now mid-afternoon. It took you an hour or so. No, a few hours to find the place. You were in there for a few hours, and it took you maybe 45 minutes to get back since you had a precise route and weren't searching for a trail. And so, yeah, you get there mid-afternoon. And as you re-enter this cave, something feels different. Roll observation checks.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs. Damn, I failed it. Rolled an 8.
Vitellius receives a 9.
All right, I should roll one for Bob as well. Anchor got a 10. 2d6. Now, obviously, Bob rolled an 8, but Bob wouldn't have any frame of reference anyway. So, Anchor and Vitellius notice that there's something different about the light coming from the back of the cave. It's only a subtle difference, subtle enough that not everyone immediately notices it. But where previously it was a bright, what we in the mortal world would describe as neon yellow, it's now very slightly redder. A hint of blood mixed in with that deep yellow colour. And all of you hear, deep in the cave, an entire pack of wolves howling in unison.
for listening to Abel Chimes. You can find us at abelchimes.com. You can email us at achimingbell@gmail.com or send us a message on Twitter at abelchimes.
That's so Raven.
It is pretty Raven now that you mention it, Josh.
That's yeah.
Oh, so you get Josh's references. Oh.
That's rather Raven.
Well, mine are
We'll
lower
get
brow
us up, Jamie.
in
We'll
general.
catch up.
You're just a
I'm-
tier above us.
Mine
that's
was
all.
for Futurama. That's not highbrow.
I watched Futurama,
Futurama's
but I
pretty
didn't
highbrow.
get it. I don't even remember the joke.
Is this the
that
Rip to
you-
Shreds?
Yeah.
Cool.
I had to
Yeah.
cut all that out because it was just like 3 minutes of you all being confused by my references.
We should. Well, if you cut it out, then you should bring it in
That's a
at
shame.
another point, and we'll all be like rolling on the floor laughing.
It won't be the last time that you have to cut out 3 minutes worth of you explaining references, I'm afraid, Jamie.
Yeah.